Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you some tips on how to conduct professional Zoom meetings from the comfort of your own home. Since we've been sheltered in place, I know there are a lot of you out there who are having to conduct Zoom meetings from your home in order to continue working. For me personally, the agency that I work for does allow its employees to work from home, so even before we started this shelter in place, I was already working from home. And so I do have a lot of really great tips and tricks on how to look your best and present yourself in the best way possible on a Zoom meeting. If you're new here to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would go ahead and subscribe. I make beauty, fashion, and lifestyle videos here on YouTube, so if you're interested to see some of the tips and tricks that I have to share with you, then please keep watching. I will be walking you through the steps so that you can go from having a meeting in Zoom that looks like this to this. One of the things that's important to do before you get ready for your meeting is to make sure that the angle of the camera on your computer is appropriate and that everything that you want to be in the frame is in the frame. So in order to check this before you get into the meeting, and this is one of the things that I always do a couple of minutes before I'm getting ready to go into the meeting, is I pull up Zoom on my computer and I go to start new meeting. And what this does is it allows me to be able to see what I can see on camera and make any adjustments as necessary. Okay guys, so one of the first things that you're going to want to focus on when you're getting ready for a Zoom call is your camera angle. You're going to want to make it so that your camera angle is at eye level or that it's slightly above eye level. And that is so that the people that you are on a call with are not looking at your nose hairs and that they're focusing at your eyes. So just a few minor adjustments to your camera angle, making sure that you're putting your laptop on either a riser or on a stack of books. That will help to take care of this. The next thing that you're going to want to do is focus on your lighting. And this is going to be really important because you don't want a lot of shadows on your face when you're in this meeting. You want to make sure that people in the meeting can see who you are and not be distracted by a dark screen. So that can be easily taken care of by either putting yourself near a window. And one thing that you want to be sure of is that the light from the window is in front of you rather than behind you, because if you put the light behind you, then all people are going to see on the screen is just a black shadow or a black blob. And that's definitely not the look that you're going for. If you're not able to put yourself in front of a window, or if you don't have access to natural light for whatever reason, then I would definitely recommend that you surround yourself with as many lights as possible. You're also going to want to make sure that you use lights that are white light and as close to daylight as possible. You're definitely not going to want to use bulbs that are yellow, because that is going to tend to make your skin look yellow and it's just not going to show up as bright and vivid on camera as you'd like it to. The other thing that you're going to want to make sure of is that your background is clean. So just make sure that you don't have a ton of clutter in the background. It looks unprofessional and that can be distracting for the other people on your call. So when you're getting ready to do your Zoom call, just make sure that you don't have a ton of other things in the background that can potentially distract other people from focusing on you. And then the next thing that you're going to want to focus on is your appearance. I know that the majority of people are sheltered in place and working from home, but that doesn't mean that you need to look like a slob. You no longer have a commute to work, so put a little bit of effort into your appearance. Keep in mind that you are still working and that the people that you are on camera with are working too, and it's always important to just keep a professional look about you. Now that definitely doesn't mean that you need to get glitzed up for the Grammys or anything, but it does mean, you know, take your hair down, put some dry shampoo in your hair, spend a little bit of time on your makeup. If you're someone who doesn't typically wear makeup or you don't wear a lot of makeup, you don't need to go all out, but the camera on Zoom does tend to wash you out. So take a little bit of time, put some color on your face so that way you don't look completely dead. If you're wondering how to put together a really quick and effortless look for your Zoom meetings, then you've come to the right place, because I'm going to show you some of the basics that you're going to need in order to look put together for your Zoom meeting. So just starting with a blank canvas, the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and recommend is that you start off with a very basic foundation. I like to use this Bare Minerals powder foundation, and we're just going to go ahead and go in with this very quickly. And I like to use this powder foundation because it gets rid of a lot of my red spots right here, a lot of which I think sometimes shows through on camera. It also really helps to be able to get rid of some of the shine. So if you're not going to be using a powder foundation, then I definitely recommend that at the very least you use some sort of a translucent setting powder, because sometimes when you're on Zoom calls you might tend to sweat. That's going to show up even more on camera. So it's always nice to make sure that you have that well under control while you're on a call. So the next thing that I definitely recommend, especially if you're pale like me, is using a contouring powder. And the reason for that is that the camera tends to really wash you out, especially when you're using different lighting sources. Now, if you don't normally do contour or if you don't have a contouring powder, I would just recommend a light brownish eyeshadow, just so that way you could sort of warm up your face. And the contouring powder that I'm going to be using is this Too Faced Chocolate Gold Soleil contouring powder. And in cases like this, I definitely wouldn't worry about being too heavy-handed, because the more contour you put on, the more that warmth and glow is going to show up on your face. And that's really the ultimate goal, is that you want to warm up your face a little bit, make it so that you're a little bit less washed out, and so that you just have some more color on your face. So this is definitely not the contouring look that I would necessarily go for on an everyday basis, but for the purposes of a Zoom meeting, I might play it up a little bit. So the next thing that I would recommend is an eyeliner pencil, and that's really going to make it so that your eyes are a lot more defined. I wouldn't necessarily say that an eyeshadow is recommended. You can if you like, but it's definitely not a necessity. The eyeliner is going to be key because it's really going to make those eyes pop. So I am just using a very standard eyeliner pencil by Rimmel. It's called Exaggerate. So the next thing that I would recommend is curling your eyelashes and adding mascara. If you just saw my recent Sephora VIB unboxing and haul video, I love these both. And if you didn't see it, I will link it up in the eye so that you can take a look at that video and see what my first impressions were. These are going to be essential in bringing out your eyes and making them pop as well. Okay, and then the last and final step that you're going to want to do in order to get a Zoom camera ready look is lipstick, of course. You all know that I'm a lipstick junkie, and so there are many lipsticks that I have to choose from. For the purposes of a Zoom meeting, because it's a little bit more professional, I do like to err on the side of caution and use more of a pinky nude color. Luckily for me, I do have a lot of them. For Zoom meetings, I also tend to like to use more mattifying lipsticks as opposed to glossy. Using a mattifying lipstick is really nice because I tend to like to drink coffee during my Zoom meetings, and when I use a mattifying formula, I notice that I get a lot less lipstick on my coffee mug. So for today, the lipstick that I chose is the Lorac Highly Pigmented Lipstick in the color Exhibitionist, and this is a little bit of a deeper pinky nude. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you would go ahead and give this a thumbs up. If you're interested to see some of the other videos that I have here on YouTube, then I will go ahead and link a playlist for you right here. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!